Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today's a very special episode. It's what we're calling our Reunion 2020, where I bring on guests that I had on previously in the show, and I just couldn't get enough of talking to them, so I brought them right back. So today I have on the show Jason Kraus, who is CEO over at Prepare4VC, and he's also author of the newly released book, Venture Forward, Lessons from Leaders. Jason, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Adam. Great to be back here.
Absolutely, and I'm excited to get into your book. I want to learn more about it. I want to learn more about what readers are going to get out of picking it up. But I also don't want to assume that everybody heard your backstory in the first episode. So we recorded quite a while ago. Let's just start with your background. So what are you doing over at Prepare4VC? Tell us a little bit more about the company.
Sounds good. Yeah. So basically, I have a background, and I'm actively involved in the venture capital and mostly early stage angel groups around Boston. And, I found reviewing pitch decks, business plans, hearing presentations from entrepreneurs, there's some great ones and some, really successful pitches out there. But, talking with a lot of these companies, most startups and founders are great at selling their product and great at talking with customers, but don't necessarily know even where to start and where to begin pitching investors. So what we've done at Prepare4VC is taken a group of experienced our consultants. They're basically all either from the venture capital space, investors themselves, or entrepreneurs that have gone through the fundraising process in the past. And we work with early stage companies that help them through that process. So we'll work with them, to build out the materials themselves, create the perfect 10-slide pitch deck presentation for them that really tells their story, as well as, figure out the right strategy on who they should be pitching, presenting to, and how they can get in front of those investors.
Man, that's awesome. And I know you work with a lot of clients, and I know your background in that venture capital world. What are the right type of so somebody's listening to this right now, and that light's going off in their head, and they're like, man, I probably need to call this guy and learn a little bit more about his company. What are the right type of clients, the right type of fit, so they know if they're the right type of client to give you a call?
Yeah, so in general, it's I'd say the majority of our clients are tech companies seeking their seed stage round of financing, or might have raised either some friends and family or bootstrapped it a little bit to begin with. And then they're sort of going out for their first round of angel or venture capital financing. But we've also worked with healthcare companies, consumer products, some other industries as well. And also trying to tap into, some other options, partnering with some crowdfunding platforms and also some working capital opportunities. So, pretty open to connecting with new startups. And, most of my, the work I like doing is just hearing from new companies what they're doing and figuring out the best way that our team can work with them and help them grow their business.
Fantastic. Let's switch it up a bit, Jason. I want to get into your new book. So, Venture Forward, Lessons from Leaders. What was the inspiration for this book?
Yeah, so there is basically, some of the stories I had from working with from a variety of entrepreneurs, and also just I'm actively talking with new companies every day, and also going to events part of the startup grind group, and I interview entrepreneurs there every month on how they got started growing their business, and found out it was just sort of some of the main ideas behind the book are one, every company makes mistakes, every founder has some sort of challenge or struggle they've gone through to get to where they are, to get to a level of success. And if you can learn some of those challenges or strategies from other people instead of having to make the same mistakes yourself, it obviously puts you off in a better position. So just sharing stories. Yeah, one theme of it is sharing stories from leaders and people that have gone through the same process before that you can then take and apply to your own business, see what went right, what went wrong with them, and hopefully help you move your company forward. The other part is that, most of the business books out there sort of target the fact, or basically speak to the Silicon Valley entrepreneur, somebody that's going full venture route, or it's, a book that just talks about, one particular industry or space that, and targets, one particular type of entrepreneur. I wanted to take stories from a variety of, we have a variety of people, types of founders, types of businesses, some tech companies, some healthcare. We have a wine company. We tell the story of even the founders, male entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs, a company that immigrated from Brazil and had some struggles, opening up a business here, and eventually became a really successful startup company, and just sort of sharing those sort of stories you don't necessarily hear in the everyday startup world. Even some of the bigger ones we talk about. We talk about the Airbnb story about how they got started, and there's a lot of aspects people don't know. They were a struggling company that was trying to figure out how to grow their user base, and one of the founders, or two of the founders, went on a road trip to take pictures of people's houses for them, and got most of their customer feedback to grow the business just by taking pictures of other people's homes and having that chance to talk with the customer face to face. So it's stories like these that we want to share and help entrepreneurs get that spark for a new idea in their own company that they can apply.
What was one of your there's a lot of people listening to this right now, and they're saying, okay, this is awesome. It's a book on these startup stories. What was one of your big takeaways that you liked from the book? So overall, you doing the project, putting them together, because I know whenever you put a project together or write a book, there's always some learning that that is involved for the author themselves. What was your favorite takeaway for yourself for putting this project together?
Yeah, so it was an interesting, I always thought of writing a book as, you start at the beginning and then you move, to the beginning, middle, and end, and you write it that way, and everything sort of flows in that order. Worked with my publishing group, we went sort of a different approach than I was expecting, and basically got all the stories together first. Conducted interviews, did all the writing for, the personal and, clients I'd work with, other stories that I wanted to include in the book there first, and then sort of figured out where the overlaps were, what startups, really spoke to the first stage of ideation, coming up with the ideas for your business, what ones, really showcase how you could grow strategies for the business, and sort of paired up what went together filled in the gaps from there. And yeah, going through it that way, I think I got to see that, while most of these stories themselves were pretty unique and went around different strategies to grow their business, a lot of them were facing the same challenges and had some sort of similar spark or moment that they went through to, figure out what to do next in their business.
And that's awesome. So, Jason, if somebody is listening to this and they want to pick up the book, what's the best way for them to do that, and also to connect with you and your VC community?
Yeah, that'd be great. So the book's it's available on Amazon, Venture Forward Lessons from Leaders, and there's also a link on my personal site as well as a list of my contact information, social sites. And publish my calendar on it's jasonkraus.me, one S in Kraus, and yeah, you can contact me there or check out our Prepare4VC website at prepare4vc.com with the number 4.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I look forward to connecting with the community.
Well, fantastic, Jason. Well, hey, really appreciate you coming back on the show. And again, big congrats on the new book, Venture Forward, Lessons from Leaders. Everybody out there, go get this. This looks like it's going to be a great book. Again, that's Venture Forward, Lessons from Leaders. I'm looking at it on Amazon right now. By the way, Jason, awesome cover. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. Leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store. Do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. It really does mean a lot to me and my team. And Jason, thanks again for coming on the show.